Hi, and thanks for tuning into Conversations with INDIAai, our leadership podcast series where we give you a glimpse into the workings of successful tech leaders, their eureka moments, their trials and tribulations, and so much more. Today, I have with me Mohneesh Saxena, who's a Senior VP of Product and Strategy at Locus. Now, he's responsible for the product map and and management at this company. Now, coming from an engineering and management background, he has led product development for companies like Maruti, Accenture, and Noodle AI before he joined Locus. He's also founded two companies, ZupZup, which is an educational tool that helps its users learn and make the right decisions in stock markets, and Hack GST, a SaaS application that helps users manage their GST compliance-related information. Thank you so much for joining us, Mohneesh. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thanks, Santuja. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
So firstly, I think Locus as a company really needs no introduction. It's, you're like the go-to platform for end-to-end logistics and to manage supply chains of various different companies. Now that is sort of like the party line. I think pretty much everyone understands when they read it in terms of what they're reading with respect to what Locus does. But what I want you to help me understand and help our viewers and listeners understand today is with an example, how does Locus's AI solution really sort of ease the supply chain roadblock for a client of yours?
Right. So we work in diverse industries. We have almost 100 plus customers in e-commerce, in retail, in consumer companies across globe.
Right.
Before answering it, I would really like to highlight what are their business objectives for the users who are actually using our services and the platform, and also the pain points associated with it.
Okay.
So typically, for every dollar spent in logistics, 30 cents goes to the last mile part of it. It means ensuring if you have ordered something on Amazon, from the last mile distribution center to your doorstep, it takes 30 cents if $1 is being spent on it. This process is currently manual. The entire planning and execution process in majority of these organizations, it's manual. What we try to optimize this cost further by helping them reduce the cost to serve per order. So that's the one value enhancement we do, where in the entire process there is value leakages because there are many human touch points involved. Second, all these organizations, the diverse industries that I just spoke of, they leave money on the table because of poor forecasting, poor demand planning is at their end. For a typical $1 billion revenue company, they almost leave 5 to 8% of sales because of these poor processes. So you can assume $80 million in lost sales for a $1 billion company. It's pretty huge.
It's a lot, yeah.
This is again a point of value leakage. Third, value leakage, let's say the exit comes in the forms of excess inventory, where if you see a store, there more inventory is stored than required. Again, it all starts from demand forecasting, but again, cascades down to the inventory policies and the stocks that they have stored. On an average, almost 12 to 16% of excess inventory is there in any of the CPG or e-commerce organizations.
Right.
That is some of the value leakages that we try to address through our platforms. At this point, Locus has two main AI-enabled platforms. The first one, which helps our customers do dispatch management, end-to-end dispatch management. It means if you throw an order to us, we will ensure that order is delivered to end customer, ensuring SLAs, customer experience, and minimized cost to serve. It's an interconnected end-to-end automation platform, which minimizes the human touch point. And it actively uses artificial intelligence in each and every step of the dispatch planning, which starts from order management, load control. System using AI automatically defines when the order should be dispatched. Should it tomorrow, based on different constraints, the real world constraints, we almost consider 200 plus different business and operational constraints to make all these high value decisions for our customers. High value frequently made. The main goal behind this whole dispatch management platform is to ensure that customers do more with less. It means with their current capacity, if tomorrow certainly, if demand uncertainty is there, we ensure that they are able to fulfill those demand fluxes. If demand has increased, same capacity, we'll be able to help them fulfill those orders at no extra cost. And in the process, help them achieve operational efficiency. Dispatch management is mainly cost optimization platform. The platform that we started building last year mid, and currently we have active customers using it. It's for both. It's for both cost optimization as well as revenue growth. And this strategic planning platform is again helping customers not just for logistics part of it, but also the other parts of supply chain. If I define a supply chain, it has four main functions. It's sourcing and procurement. Then it's manufacturing. Third is the logistics and distribution. And finally, it's about selling. Chain strategic planning platform helps them ensure that the potential lost sales are minimized, working capital investments are optimized to ensure right goods are or right products are available at right place at time in right quantity. So it not just optimizes the logistics cost of operation, but it also minimizes the lost sales, minimizes the excess inventory, maintains service levels at acceptable, cost overlays. Yeah, and in both of these solutions, we heavily deploy artificial intelligence and machine learning at scale. So 100,000 models running for any CPG company, optimizing their end-to-end supply chain.
Right. I think in a large part, you've also sort of explained the next question, which is how do you sort of, help in tangible cost and time really saved? So, tell me a little bit about actually sort of building this platform instead. What are the different components that go into building a platform like this? What are the different kind of skills that are involved? And how does it all sort of come together for a client and deliver those results in real time?
Right. So let's talk about the dispatch management platform in the beginning. So when we said order to fulfillment end-to-end workflow, which is pretty expensive for any of our customer, and sensitive. Here we have, so our product is API first and we have modularized all the components in it and all the they talk to each other to ensure that entire process is seamlessly automated. From order management system. So we have an order IQ module, which automatically gets relevant data whenever it's updated in customer system. It fetches that data. It does the planning in terms of when it should be going for dispatching, who should be dispatching it, so on and so forth. So this order management system pushes data to the second module, which is dispatch IQ, which is dispatch planning solution.
Correct.
Let's say if, and typically dispatch IQ is for captive fleet. So individuals or companies, if they have their own fleet, it helps optimize. For cases where their captive capacity is not sufficient, then the third module, which is orchestration, automatically books capacity from players like Shadowfax, Dunzo, in US, Postmates, Rodi, and then get flex capacity to fulfill orders because of demand uncertainties and volatility.
Right.
These products, under the hood, the core IP which is powering these products is the first one being the geocoding engine, which we developed over last 5 years. If I have to explain geocoding, it's about if somebody puts an order, how to convert, order with addresses, how to convert addresses into mathematical latitude and longitude, so that algorithms could compute the right waypoints for it to be navigated. So geocoding engine was the first proprietary piece that we built. It's pretty extensive. And in India, Southeast Asia, we have state-of-the-art coverage. In Europe and North America, we are currently deepening the expertise in geocoding. The second piece is around vehicle routing and scheduling engine. We call it routing engine internally, which is an advanced form of capacited vehicle routing problem. It's a mathematical problem with million cross million search space, and you have to find one sequence for, let's say, 1,000 orders that were uploaded on it.
Right.
And engine is the core IP which powers the entire platform in terms of scheduling the orders, sequencing them, who should be delivering it, what kind of vehicle should be utilized, at what time it should start from the source location, and at what time it should be reaching the end sync location, which is customers. So on and so forth. The third piece of critical intellectual property that we have developed is a recommendation engine, which says, okay, now we have these bunch of 10 orders, which we have to dispatch them on this vehicle. Who should be driving this vehicle? Because that decision is a critical one. And reason for that is there's a lot of tribal knowledge that goes into delivering these orders. People who are familiar with certain localities, they would be able to deliver these in less time, in less distance, because they would know how to go about delivering these orders. So recommendation system helps us match which vehicle, which rider, which all orders should be placed for that specific that specific route. So this is the third piece that powers the entire dispatch management. Then another piece is around contract management. How to ensure that which vehicle to select, which carrier to select in order to fulfill these orders at minimized cost and optimal SLAs. Means 3PL will deliver it on time, in quality, in full. So all those considerations are taken into care.
Right.
All these disparate components, they come together and help our customers minimize the cost to serve that is associated with each and every order. And in a way, it also minimizes the time taken to deliver this order, because since the last and final piece that I just want to highlight is the learning engine that we have, which historical execution data. Our system on a continuous basis learns and extracts pattern out of the tribal knowledge, which is there with these riders. They know if I have to go from Koromangala to, let's say, Dairy Circle, I can take these inner roads, and because they are not crowded, traffic would be low.
Yeah.
Which in Google would not be apparent. So these across time horizons, we capture and take into account in future. So forward-looking planning can be done effectively and efficiently to minimize rider time on road and the entire cost structures for our customers.
Okay, so it's like you've thought about a lot of different elements, and in many ways, you're also incorporating actual human intelligence and feeding it to your system and ensuring that the richness of the data is that much more. So I think at a time like this, it's compelling to ask: have you encountered any challenges? Has something not gone according to plan? And has that sort of led you to also think of fail safes and backups in a sense like this?
Right. So on an annual basis, at our scale, we manage almost 200 plus million orders for 100 plus customers across globe. And no two companies are same in terms of business models.
Yeah.
Some companies are doing, let's say, hyper local, and their customers expect stringent SLAs, like 2 hours you have to deliver it. So it's mainly on-demand use cases, and you have to, as and when order is coming, you have to schedule them.
Correct.
Some traditional slotted ones, just like customers like Big Basket.
Yeah.
If they get orders, they try to fulfill it under given SLAs. Our system, our customers ensure that for any use case, a single platform, the modularized platform that we have built, which is configurable through extensive configurations, these different business models can be modeled. And we ensure that we model all these operating conditions and business model through real world constraints. So if I have to talk about challenges, yes, first challenge typically is supporting multiple businesses and their operating conditions, their business. Again, as I said at the beginning, no two companies are same, and hence all these nuances has to be supported by a single platform. It's pretty, which is pretty cool how our engineering team has, made this extensive, flexible.
Yeah.
And second, again, goes back to the point, 200 million plus orders, almost 500,000 to 1 million orders a day. Yeah. Scale is something which poses challenges at times. But again, kudos to our engineering team and business teams. We have worked last 2 years extensively to make sure that we can handle enterprise scale and in reduced runtimes, because for our customers, for dispatch planners, it is important that if the moment they have received order, let's say a bunch of 10,000 orders they have received, it has to be dispatched in next 15 minutes. The traditional systems that are there in the market, they take hours to compute suboptimal routes. Our system can do it in a matter of minutes. Right. Now, with next gen investments, the deep investments we are making into ensuring our routing engine becomes more robust and gives us competitive mode. We are using TPUs and GPUs, extensive use of CUDAs to do vertical expansion to ensure compute is scaled, not just horizontally, but vertically. So scale is the problem. Again, supporting all these nuances for all these customers, stability sometimes poses a challenge. So we actively work with our customers, proactively identify risks and try to mitigate them through business contingency planning and ensure our systems remain stable. 99.9% uptime. We try to ensure that's the third one. I think I covered the main point, which is around challenges. It's around maintaining the competitive edge, because scheduling as a category, it's a critical one. Everything, all the modules it sits on top of the VRS engine, the routing engine that we have.
Right.
So it's very core to us.
It's mission critical. It's not just mission critical to you, but it's to all your stakeholders. So I understand anything that could go wrong really has like a knock-on effect on others, like a saga dominoes. Yeah.
So from the fail-safe perspective, I think you asked for fail-safes also.
Yeah.
So we maintain fail-safes at 3 dimensions. The first one being at infrastructure level, so that impact or the adverse impact to customers is minimized. So at infrastructure, we support multi-cloud because our system is cloud agnostic. We can deploy it on Google, Azure, GCP, Azure, AWS, even Ali Cloud. We can do on-premise deployment also. We can support it. We try not to, just because of business reasons. The second layer of redundancy and fail-safes we have built in the application layer itself, and all the components, they have fail-safes built in. Case in point, if Google Map is not working, and if there is some issue from the service provider end, from the Google itself, our system automatically switches to OpenStreetMaps. If even that is not working, we switch to the third provider. So multiple level of fail-safes are there.
Okay.
The simplest example is if you try to, so we support two-factor authentication. So if you type your password and SMS will come to you, and then you log in through that SMS. Some network is not available, and if our riders, they don't get SMSs, there is again, it goes back to the fail-safe system, which is around sending them email, sending their dispatch plan another OTP, and which can be communicated to these end riders via calls.
Right.
So yeah, we have fail-safes and redundancies built in each and every module to ensure system stability remains at highest level of efficiency.
Understood.
Redundancy, last level of redundancy we have built in our algorithms itself. Let's say due to computational complexity and because of time constraints, an algorithm is not generating data in specified amount of time. So in algorithms, you can do it either deep will take more compute and more time, or you can approximation based modeling of the problem. But that will only be triggered if the deep algorithmic engine is not giving time in the satisfactory amount of, or not giving output in the satisfactory amount of time.
Got it.
Based models kick in. There will be some amount of precision will be shaped, but it will still provide optimal results at reasonable cost and reasonable time. Yeah.
Okay.
These are the levels at which we do. Yeah.
All right. So there are definitely fail-safes in place. So I think your clients listening must be extremely at ease that, okay, you've literally thought of every possible thing that could go wrong. So I think another very critical set of developments from your end have been some collaborations. You've recently collaborated with Tracker from South Africa, which is today's development, which I read. And of course, there's Postag with the UK. So what are the significance of these developments? Why exactly have you collaborated with these companies, and what are you hoping to get out of it?
So we follow 3 main philosophies. So the first one being, again, just to expand across geography, have our footprint across different regions and regions.
Sure.
Everything is pivotal on the product expansion. So we build product and have regional nuances baked into them. Now the second one is market expansion. Market expansion can be done via multiple modes. And the mode that we have specialized over last 2 years is channel partnership. So as you mentioned, Postag is one of the channel partners we have in UK. They are specialists in last mile delivery, and we have partnered with them because this whole partnership is again started to build the redundancy in the we about it. So Postag, they have state-of-the-art geocoding engine which converts address catalog for UK and European region. They have a decent presence. And our partnership with them gives us a fail-safe for just in case our geocoding is not providing optimal, which hardly happens. But just for the edge cases, if at all they are there, we have a partner. Apart from that, they have also built a healthy business based out of UK and European region. So the idea is to partner with them and create a win-win through a joint go-to-market. And end goal is to help customers optimize their last mile dispatch management operations.
Right.
Which happens there. And same is the case with the Tracker in South Africa.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So, genuinely speaking, how challenging is it, or how easy is it, to sort of innovate in a sector like logistics? It's one thing because this is not a sector that has been largely explored before with this level of data science and data analytics. So, how does it really sort of rank in terms of trying to innovate? And are there any sort of out of the box ideas that Locus is trying to work on at this moment? Is there anything else that you've already sort of thought of that you want to address as a use case for your clients?
Right. That's a difficult question to answer. I'll be honest. There is no easy answer to it. There was an old adage which was that change is a constant, and we all know that it's not.
Yeah.
Rate of change is ever increasing, so change is not constant anymore. Even the rate of change is not constant. It's increasing with increased market dynamics. With this whole COVID, we saw technological advancements that we did not see in last 20 years. It happened with this whole COVID outbreak. So there was being associated with it. Our customers, the customers in last 10 years, we have seen they have become more, their expectations have increased multifold in last.
That's true.
Earlier, 5 to 7 days delivery was okay. Suddenly it got shifted. E-commerce kicked in 2007 onwards, and then suddenly people are expecting 3 days, then it became 2 days. Today, more and more business, they are innovating and bringing in more, better business models. So customers are now offering 2-hour window, order now, and we'll deliver your goods in next 2. Farm to fork business models, farm to shelf business models in reduced, let's say, cycle time or delivery timelines. But everybody wants that these business models should be supported at cost that was there 10 years back. So with these expectations, technology has to play a key role and innovation has to play a key role. We continuously innovate on a daily basis at our end. Let me just walk through how we do it, and then results came out of it. So we follow a 4-step process. Again, as I said, there is no right answer for it. So the first thing is it's all about idea generation and mobilization. Step is relatively, it's very easy for us. And just because we have 100 plus customers, it's easier for us to interview them, source ideas from them, do user interviews, understand their pain points, their problems, and then see what all things would fit. So idea sourcing is relatively easy. Somewhat difficult is the second step, which is around advocacy and screening of these ideas. Identifying what is right for the market, not just for one customer. As a product first company, AI product first company, our goal is that whatever we build under for our customer, it's broad, it's generic. So idea screening and advocacy becomes crucial for us. So our product team ruthlessly works with customers and internal engineers and all the stakeholders to ensure we prioritize and we identify items which are high impact ones. And then we go to the third step, which is the most difficult one, which is around experimentation, where the core technical design happens. Our engineering teams and our data science teams relentlessly work to architect a solution which will ensure 10x improvement over the status quo. So if today something was saving 4%, tomorrow it should be saving at least 20 to 40%, either in any of the KPIs that we select.
Right.
Once the experimentation has yielded results, last is around commercialization, diffusion and implementation of that innovation. Again, that's relatively easy for us because, again, given the fact that we have 100 plus customers, we don't, and we work with these customers to do initial testing, concept testing, implementations, and see what needs to be further improved. Some of the perks of working with some of the largest brands on the planet. So innovation, so we were innovating pre-COVID and post-COVID. The only difference was, so I'll just name a couple of post-COVID initiatives that we did. One first was just to support, just because market was changing and we had to be ahead of the curve. So we introduced contactless deliveries for our customers. Our routing engine, the VRS, we just spoke about the key piece of intellectual property. It started considering containment zones in all the geographies. It started with India to Southeast Asia and North America. So ensure that riders, our delivery partners, they remain safe. Our routing engine was routing without taking them to containment zones. So it was was taking more distance, but we ensured that safety of our delivery partners, because it was of primordial importance at that
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. Right. Right.
And then we also started displaying temperatures on the end customers. We also provided vaccination status, whether the driver partner is vaccinated or not. We also, I was mentioning in one of the previous discussion around scale handling, right? So we are making deep investments into ensuring we upgrade our routing engine to the philosophy of 10x. So using CUDA, using tensor processing units and graphic GPUs to see we have sufficient compute to ensure that route planning can be done in the matter of minutes.
Understood.
Lastly, this whole COVID has exposed cracks in the traditional way how supply chains are designed and how supply chain planning happens.
Yeah, right.
And then again, apart from that, the second incident happened of that Suez Canal for almost 2 months. Global trade was just at stalemate. There was no move there. So one of our product, the strategy platform, is helping our customers to really take a look at these black swan events, not just these black swan events, but on a continuous basis, take a stock of how the supply chains are doing, how the cost structures are, what they should be doing in terms of optimizing things in their supply chain. So whether we should warehouse somewhere, should we be closing a warehouse, should we be consolidating, how inventory policies should be designed so that stocks are never out of shelf, product is always available for customers without making excess inventory related value leakages.
Right.
These are the couple of initiatives that we are doing. Lastly, but the most important one, we are again investing in a data platform internally. It's an internal initiative that we have. So we want to map the entire physical world into a digital world. So just assume a 1 meter cube world where we can pinpoint exactly how things should be moving across these 1 meter cube, 3D matrix. This will empower many futuristic use cases that we have in mind. One of them being the drone logistics. We recently, formulated the policy, the drone policy of 2021, 15th of July. And we are just experimenting and toying with the idea how it should be if routing, because for drone logistics, routing is going to be one of the core piece and how we designed. And for this to work, data platform will play a very critical role.